All right, judges, up next we have Park University to address the question of the United States political leaders are proposing new restrictions on international imports of steel in the form of tariffs and quotas. Are these proposals a good idea?
Hello, my name is Isabella.
Yeah, my name is Elias, I guess. I don't need the microphone.
My name is Derek.
My name is Mallory.
Once you're presenting, please use the microphone.
Okay. So our first, the question is, are these proposals a good idea? So the solution we came up with was a no. We don't think it's a good idea. And the reason why we think that is, if United States are trying to increase tariffs and quotas, they will create a market power situation. So that means that when they create that situation with increase of tariffs, they will act like a monopolist and rise of prices. And even if they are doing that to come back with any losses that they had in the past with the imports of steel, they're going to create a situation of predatory pricing. So that means that price competition is a good thing for consumers and help business consumers compete more effectively to lower input costs. So what I'm saying is, if they keep the market competitive, it will be more beneficial for consumers and for themselves. So competitive markets can contribute with innovation and development of products at a lower cost, where goods are valued less than resources used to produce them. So again, what I'm saying is, if the United States keep their importation of steel without or lessen the tariffs and quotas they are trying to, these new proposals they're having, it will be better for the market than the increase in the situation, because they will allow more countries to compete against each other, and they will create a better scenario by creating innovation and allowing more business to come in and compete against each other.
All right, great. I want to focus a little bit more on the political force and the impact and the role they kind of play. So first of all, maybe you think it's like a great idea to put like tariffs on other countries if you think about your own economy, because you think like the domestic market will profit from it due to the reason that there's less competition. What's kind of protectionism what you have then in the market. But there would be, just as Isabella said, like a limit of competition. What also would be then that the prices would rise because there's a chance to get like this, like some companies will start to have like a monopoly situation, and yeah, not really would help to make the market more attractive, just due to the fact that people are kind of forced to buy the local products and the products from like domestic companies. What contra for sure would be against this tariffs on steel would be that there would be like a reaction from the other countries, just what we had, for example, with the tariffs between the kind of trade war with China and the US, that as a reaction the other countries would also put tariffs on products what the US would like to export, so like all the product they want to send or service they want to give out to other countries, and this would like rise all the prices for like the whole economy, and this would just lead to like a general overall rising in prices. Yeah, so the steel industry would also like have like in general go down like the profitability of the companies. Yeah.
So I will be talking about how these restrictions on steel would influence the rate of inflation in this country. So as we've all seen, especially right now with gas prices going up, it's forcing other products to rise in price as well. So having these restrictions on steel would actually lead to less imports, which, just like Issa said, is going to lead to more power within the local industry, which would end up creating a monopolistic competition sort of situation. And what we've seen, especially like in other countries with monopolistic competitions, is cartels always end up rising, and this could be the factor that would end up happening in this situation as well. So if this happens, the prices are going to go up on steel, just like gas prices is going to influence the prices of other products as well, leading to more inflation. So what is inflation, if you may ask? Inflation is when there is a surplus of money within the economy, and for people to cope with it, then wages would have to go up, and that would be very bad for the economy as well. So to cap it all off, this would lead to things getting more expensive, inflation would rise, and this would be very bad for the economy.
Okay, so I would like to talk about international trade. These new restrictions would add to the cost of importing for the United States. That would interrupt what is already being traded through other countries. So while these countries are now having to send to us, now we are paying more, and we're paying more, and we have less to bring in. In addition, these rises of imports, they would be able to rise all of the steel costs, which would basically cause a ripple effect for trading, and that would add, we would trade less, and we would have more costs to come with that. In addition, it would add higher costs to anything else, all other materials, just because now our demand is different and the supply is now different because we cannot trade at the same rate as what we normally had coming in.
So we have time now for the judges to ask you guys some questions.
You talk about a ripple effect. I think that's very relevant. And what can you think about any kind of a ripple effect from a steel? Anything related product will be affected from this tariff and quotas?
Yeah, so this ripple effect would basically affect other materials that are similar to steel. People would start looking for maybe substitute products that chances are not as heavy duty and as strong as what steel is, therefore causing what they're building to not last as long. So the quality will get kind of diminished if there were these restrictions added.
So if the purpose of tariffs is to protect domestic production, and you were saying that that this policy would have negative effects overall, what exactly about the negative effects overall outweighs the fact that it would protect the domestic industry? Especially when the domestic industry, the people that lose their jobs, those seem to be large losses.
So from my understanding is that steel, we do import quite a bit of steel. With that being said, these imports, the less of imports that we have could also affect jobs as well. And with these tariffs being placed, jobs can also be affected that way. So there's it's kind of like on a scale. So you lose one thing, you gain the other. And in this case, you would be able to gain more, it's basically to keep the same thing that's going on now versus changing it and getting just less material in general.
We got time for another question, or if there's none, there we go.
So I can see people making the argument that the reason we want to have tariffs or quotas is to protect U.S. steel, and we want to protect jobs, we want to protect those people. And maybe we have a moral obligation to protect them. How do you respond to that when you just say, well, it's more efficient for us to not have them? How do you deal with the moral argument that we're trying to help these people?
Okay, so yes, that would be the moral obligation, is to, of course, keep all of our jobs and everything that's going on domestically. But I feel like there can be a way to kind of counteract with that, and there can be a way to enforce, hey, if we get more steel, without these restrictions, there's more labor jobs that are able to pick up, and there's more construction jobs, and as well as really any other jobs relating to the movement of steel and their corporations.
Basically what I said about competitive market, if we allow outside countries to import steel to the United States, I think we can create a situation where we will have more of steel, that will create more jobs eventually. So basically what my understanding is, if we have other countries importing here, we will create more jobs, we can create more technology and innovation, and that would be I think that would be better for the market of steel in the United States than protecting the economy here, like the domestic production.
Okay, thank you, Park University.